let's talk about smartphone tripod adapters for a second. So you've got your tripod, but you want to put your phone on the thread. How are you going to do it? Well, pull up a chair. So, I've been using my smartphone to make films for years, and I've got my favourites, my least favourites, and kind of in between bits, but I need to start sorting some of this out. Where to start? I mean, these things, that one's got the rubber bit missing. These are really cheap, and I've found that these things are the most compatible with the most amount of phones. Basically, this one, well, this one comes in red, but this has still got the thing on the top. And all you do, you have your phone, and it's like, you know, you can have lots of buttons along the top and things going on, and because this bit is thin, you'll find somewhere to just fit that in. Maybe on the second attempt, eh? Okay, and then once it's in your tripod adapter, you obviously use the thread to put it on that end of the tripod. Yeah, you see that? The thread, and that basically screws into that. Right. So these things, I have loads of these. I've used them a lot in the studio. They're great. Out in the field, they might not be quite so great because they don't really lock on, and you can knock stuff out relatively easily. This might be a bad example because it's in there quite firmly, but you know, someone brushing past it, there's your phone kind of smashed. So in the early days, I did really like the original glif. Then they released this version of the glif, which I thought, you know, I'll give that a shot. The first one was good, but it only really fit the iPhone 4 and 4S, if I remember rightly. This one promised to be more universal, so let's take a look at this. So first of all, you'll notice it comes in a nice cardboard tube. You'll also notice it comes with an Allen key. So first warning sign, right? But you know, this is something, if you're setting up, you know, on a shoot, you don't want your camera to fall out of the tripod. So how does this work? I'm not even sure I can remember. Basically there's the thread for the tripod, and there's another one that end which has started to come out with the rubber there. So, you know, I wasn't enthralled by this version of the glif. I mean, it's not terrible, you know, it works, but it didn't really work for me. And like I say, I can't actually remember how to use it, so that doesn't really help, does it? Another tripod. Told you I've got hundreds of these. So I took a look at these things. I mean, these they're like clippy clip things. So I thought, you know, you could clip your phone into the clip. It's got a thread, so you can thread it to your tripod. These are called gritech. But yeah, basically they fit, you know, onto the phone like so. But if you have a phone with lots of buttons along the top, you're kind of a bit limited about how, because obviously if it presses a button, well, you don't want your tripod adapter to be pressing buttons while you're trying to work, right? Oh, another one of these. I told you I had hundreds of these. This one, I explored the kind of Joby GorillaPod things and got one of these as well, because why not? You know, I mean, what I love about this is it packs away to kind of virtually nothing. It's spring loaded, so you don't have to have an Allen key, and you know, spring loaded to quite a degree there, so you know, it fits most phones pretty well. I mean, you can sort of get over this, and there you go, you've got your Joby. But what I found with this one is it may be spring loaded, but it's kind of loose. You know, I don't know if I can show this, but it just kind of bends about, and you know, I don't trust it outside of the studio, you know, or outside of a controlled controlled conditions. So wasn't enthralled with that either. I did buy a batch of these. Now I found these are really popular. This is, you can see this is quite well used. ShoulderPod. Now I do like this because it's kind of got well, it's basically a firm grip. The downside of that being, you know, I mean, it's quite wide, so in terms of finding a place that doesn't have a button, certainly on this Xperia, this new Xperia, it's quite tricky, but you can, you know, this doesn't have a fingerprint, and that you can see with the case on the power button is quite recessed. So with the Xperia, at least you can, you know, really get that secured in to a point where you're pretty satisfied it's not going to go anywhere. There's the thread on the end there. So I do really like these out in the field. Yes, I've got one or two of these. Worth the investment, if you ask me, depending on how many phones you've got and what you're doing. But it's just that it's not quick release. You know, it is. You know, it's not going anywhere. But when you do want to go somewhere, it's not quick release. So that's a positive and a negative. You know, in my book, moving parts. You know, I mean, you can see it's a bit of a faff, but it is solid, and you can tell I've used that quite a lot. Look, another one of these. So what did I look at next? Now, possibly for the studio at least, this was my favourite for a long time. This is a square, called a square jellyfish. Again, you can see it kind of packs away to virtually nothing, you know. And what this one does, it just unfolds. You can unscrew that and go horizontal or vertical with your orientation. And again, you know, just find a place on the phone where it will spring load over. And this is not a bad compromise, because it takes quite a lot of effort for it to come out. You know, it's not really going to go anywhere, I don't think. The problem I had with the square jellyfish is it's just not very robust. I've had several break. Unless you get the metal one, which is silver, I've probably binned it already because it broke. You have to be really careful because this thread is plastic. So if you over tighten, you're just going to ruin the thing, and then like I say, I really like the design. I really like the torque there, or the pressure, whatever you want to call it, keeps the phone in nice and tight. It's compatible with a lot of buttons, but just not really robust enough for me to buy too many of them. So then more recently, Manfrotto came up with this beastie. I haven't really used it in anger yet. You can see it still looks virtually new, and it is still virtually new. I quite like it. Manfrotto tends to know what they're doing, and this one you can see it again, it kind of packs away to virtually nothing. It's not that slippery, I'm just not holding it very tight. And basically for this one you just swivel it. You can see the thread is on the end there. And one thing I do like about this one is, I mean, I've never really had a cause to use a cold shoe, but there's a cold shoe. You can stick a microphone in there, you can stick a light in there, and it's not spring loaded though, so you do have to faff a little bit. It is only a little bit of faff, but it is still faff nonetheless. But again, once it's in there, it's not going to come out. So this is for the field. This is probably going to be my go-to option for, like, out in the field, something a bit more industrial strength. It's not bad. I do like that. And if I had to throw them all away except one, I'd probably throw them all away except this one. I'd probably lose it and buy loads of these again. Because again, these things, they're literally so cheap on eBay, so cheap, and they are functional. They just don't grip. If you're around idiots, you're not going to want to use these, because the idiot will walk into your setup and it will all fall over. Whereas, spend the extra money on something like this, and it might still all fall over, but it'll be more difficult for them to knock it all over. And it's not too much of a faff on this one to sort of just loosen that. Hang on, what am I doing? Tighten it up. So I don't mind it, and I probably will look at using that once I've decided which kind of tripod I want to use, really, because that's another question. I've got a shoot coming up at the end of August, you see, so I need to select my field gear. So other contenders, this is the this is what happens when I talk too much. This is the mefoto sidekick, I think it's called. Again, it's not bad. It's a little larger than I was expecting. This is a 5.2 inch screen phone with a case on, and actually, if it didn't have the case on, I don't know if I've got the wrong. Well, again, I got it cheap on eBay. Got it second hand just to try it out. Again, I like it because it's got a ball head on it. Again, but sometimes less is more, and it's quite a lot of faff. I see. I can't remember how to use this one. So it's a bit of faff. I mean, that's metal. That's quite nice. This is plastic, so may not go the distance. But it's not bad. Another thing I looked at, I bought 2 of these on offer. They're like a tenner, thinking they were smaller than they actually are, because these things actually are for tablets, not for phones. So again, this is a 5.2 inch phone, or screen. So you can see it's I made a bit of a bodged decision there, and these really do stretch out, so that's but again, it's solid. If I was shooting with a tablet, I think I would use this thing, because it's quick release, but it is pretty tough. It's kind of metal. I mean, I don't know, it's probably tougher than plastic, but probably not as tough as this guy. This feels really solid. This feels a bit hollow, but you've got a thread on the back, and you do have a thread on the bottom, so it could stand that way up. So not bad. But another in the studio, certainly a go-to for me, is this X grip. Now I really like this because it's minimum of faff. Once you get used to it, it really is easy just to stick your phone in here. He says he demonstrates faff. But the downside of the X grip stuff and RAM mounts, they're really expensive. I mean, honestly, it is really good, and it is really solid. Really solid. Oh, that's the other thing. It's got a bit of swivel in it. You can't really prevent that, I think, just because of the way the mechanism works. So for a moving vehicle going over bumps and stuff, you know, it's gonna tilt if you don't set it up properly. But you know, I just like the quick release. I mean, I just wish I could afford more of these, but they're too expensive. You need to watch more videos and I'll buy more, you know. So I think I've covered all my mounts. Like I say, the shoot at the end of this month, I'm gonna probably go with this guy. This will be my B camera. I'm filming with my A camera right now. You see, so that's my A camera. This is well, they're both Xperias. This one is the XZ, the XZ Premium, Xperia XZ Premium. So that's what's filming right now, and again you can see I've got a case on. The other thing I need to select is a case, because what I'm not happy about with this case is it blocks off the microphone. So unless it's coming in directly from the side, the case is going to, so I don't know what I'm going to be sounding like. Hopefully you can understand me. Hopefully I'm intelligible enough, you know, with that setup. You know, so yeah, so like I say, I've basically decided, well, within the time it's taken me to shoot this video, that I'm going to use the Manfrotto on my tripod. Now what I haven't decided is which tripod I'm going to use, so that could well be the next episode. Stay safe out there.